What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. So in this one we are going to be opening up some boxes that a subscriber and fan sent me all the way from I believe he's sending it from DC, and he's moving. He's sick of moving with all the stuff, and he said, I'd rather you have it and you can enjoy it. So I said, I'm honored. I'll pay the shipping and send it over. So he's got a bunch of goodies for us, and it's Accord related stuff from this generation, so I can't wait to see what he sent. He gave me a brief overview of all the stuff, but it's a lot of really cool vintage stuff, as this build was done some years ago. So it should be pretty awesome, and I can't wait to show you guys what he sent me. So I'm gonna bring the boxes out and we'll start opening them up, and we'll see what all is in there and what we can make use of. And I know I definitely want to use some of it. It's exciting. So at some point the Accord will be getting somewhat of a refresh and makeover when I have the time. For right now, it's a ripper, guys, and it's so much fun, and I just can't foresee the need to like tear it down, because it's just like, it's a beast, and I just want to see how long I can get on this stock motor. So as much as I want to rip it apart and make more boost, I just want to see what this thing can do, and it's doing wonderfully. So I may be limited by the turbo setup or whatever, but it would be cool to have a little bit more juice. Always, you know, it's always fun to have more power. So we'll see what we can make use of, and I'll stop talking and get to opening these boxes. For starters, I just want to say I feel really sorry for the UPS worker that had to transport these packages all the way from DC to here, because I understand that they did not make it here in the best shape, and I haven't touched these yet, really. Actually, maybe this one a little bit, but you know, the boxes, they don't really look like boxes anymore. But I can understand, because they're ridiculously heavy, especially this one, super heavy. So, I mean, there's not really a good way to transport it. So we're gonna have to just see what's going on with all these parts in here. So I'm gonna set up the tripod and start to unbox some of this stuff. So definitely a good amount of stuff involved here. All right, so we got, this is the big one here. Alright, so he did have a lot of stuff in here that's like vintage stuff, and he mentioned that he had receipts for a lot of the stuff, which I'll definitely look through. He's got a dyno slip here showing how much power it made, and poor guy, it lifted the head, blew a head gasket, and didn't end up getting to run that much like he wanted. He barely even drove it just to the dyno. So, unfortunate scenario. What happened? And he's got diagrams, vacuum line stuff, so that's pretty cool there. Set that aside, and let's start pulling parts out here. We got, okay, spare stock here. I just put a new one in mine, so it still works good. And this is actually from a 94, so slightly different stuff, but I'm sure it would fit. So that's cool. That's always good. If I need an extra, I'm gonna have to wrap all this back up, but I'm just showing you guys. And then we got air filter. Seen better days. It's okay though. It'll still work. We got okay, that's underneath some stuff. So he has a DEI. Okay, so this is a heat wrap, unused heat wrap, which is always good. This is like maybe an engine insulator blanket or something like that, so that's pretty cool. Hold the exhaust. Okay. Yeah, insulation, that's cool. Unused, so we can possibly use that on you know, downpipe or something like that in the future. I always like to heat wrap stuff. Awesome. Then we've got a boost timing MSD box here, which is something that we may not need, just based on the setup that I have. But it is like a, you know, an MSD box, and it will adjust your, it'll retard your timing for your boost. So let's see. Next thing we got here are these Indiglo gauges, which I'm pretty excited about. This is the gauge kit that I got from the junkyard that did not work. So this looks like a different one. So unfortunately I cut all my gauges up, but if I were to take the cluster apart again, I could put these in here, and this is a brand new kit. So I could get the glowing gauges like I want. So I can match the gauges to all the other glow shift gauges. So I think this will be really sweet. And I do have to take the dash pieces apart again to try to fix the broken area. So this is definitely something I'm going to use. This is awesome. I never would be able to get this because this is like really vintage stuff. It's all stuff he was going to do. He did not do. But I've got, there's like a whole box here of couplers and clamps, you know, to add to my collection, because I do have a lot of intercooler pipes and stuff. So we got different sizes and couplers. So for the amount of room it takes up, you know, I'll turbo something else in the future, so I'm gonna need it. I think this is all just his intercooler piping. And who knows how this fit, but oh, that's a turbo line. Okay, so he's got some sort of injection here, methanol injection, or I don't know what that is. That's crazy. Oh, I think he had maybe additional fuel injectors hooked up. That's crazy. Wow. Turbo feed line, which is probably a nice one, probably way better than any of the junk ones I usually buy. That's good to have too. And let's see. Just a miscellaneous bag of stuff. Chrome reservoir cap for the brake fluid reservoir. Thermostat. Some ground wire. Okay. All kinds of little stuff. Little stuff. Okay. Got okay, this is a ECU. I think this is a stock ECU, which to me personally, and not of much use to me, but I may find a home for this guy at some point. We're on our Chip P28, which I have videos on. You guys want to go check it out. And this is the downpipe here, so that's pretty cool. Probably made it up to the stock exhaust, something like that. And he's got a chute off the top there. I guess maybe for the wastegate. I think he didn't have the wastegate. There was a problem with the wastegate. But we got downpipe. Looks like actually a nice one. I think he had bought a kit, he said, everything that you needed to turbo. And looks like this is like a oil pressure switch. Oh, so he was feeding with this, but also he had another feed line, extra feed line. So I think what happened was he ended up stripping the car and changing, you know, and just selling the car because at the time he was too, you know, I think it got towed to another shop, or he towed it home, towed it to another shop, and then got broken into, stuff got stolen, and I think he was just kind of defeated at that point, and I don't blame him. That's kind of a lot of stuff to happen. So he ended up saving all these parts and hoped that I could make use of them. And I will try my best to use what I can. This is looks like a fuel pressure. It's like a way to send your fuel pressure into here. and I think you send the feeds into one side, and or you send the return line into one side and then into the other side. And this is able to pinch off the return line to increase fuel rail pressure, so you can kind of overflow your injectors. It's like a way without tuning that you could do, and this is boost regulated here. So it's kind of an interesting thing that you could do back in the day without tuning, but to me, it makes me a little nervous. I'd rather have it tuned, and we have technology now to do that. So back then they didn't have all the stuff we have, but it is cool stuff to see, and that's how they did it. So it is pretty interesting, and you still could do it that way. It's just not, you know, people always ask me if the car is reliable and whatnot, and it's like, it is, but you have to do things a certain way, or else it's not gonna be reliable. And not to say his wasn't reliable, but he did explode. Oh, it looks like you might have accidentally given me this too. That's very nice, actually. I don't know if I want that back. We'll have to look into that, but we got that in there too. I think this is just in his box of stuff. It's not really Accord related. What are your thoughts on that?
What the hell?
That's kind of cool. I don't think he meant to send it to me, but alright, I'll have to ask Lord if he wants it back. But pretty funny.
Daddy?
Yeah, pretty nice. So we'll set that aside. I don't know if that's included in what I'm supposed to get.
I'm going to record for you.
Oh, I'm filming already.
Oh, cool.
Whole box of clamps.
Oh my god.
Hose Clamp City.
This is kind of cool.
Insane. That's really useful, actually. Like, that's not even just turbo stuff. Like hose clamps,
Anything. Anything.
Wow. Yeah, you never know. Wow, that's actually really nice.
Yeah.
That's like an entire life supply of hose clamps. That's awesome.
That's pretty sick.
I appreciate that. We got more couplers here. Put in with our box of couplers. I have to put these with all my turbo parts here. This is what I'm most excited about right here.
Oh
This
my
is cool.
god.
This is cool right here. This guy, ooh, this guy is a brand new Turbonetics turbo with a manifold here and a side mount for the wastegate, which, I don't know, it seems like a similarly sized turbo to the one I have, and it's probably nicer quality than the eBay one, because this is actually a name brand turbo, Turbonetics.
Yeah, will it just bolt up the way you have?
I don't think so, because the downpipe's going to be in a different location because of the way this manifold is.
Yeah.
So I can't really just bolt it up. But in the future, I can refabricate a downpipe or something of that nature and
Will that fit your
put this
cylinder
turbo on. This fits the VTEC cylinder head, but we haven't got there yet.
Oh.
So you kind of,
Okay.
yeah, you're getting ahead of me, but they'll see. They'll see what I'm talking about. But this is a pretty nice thing, and I think we can use this. I don't know if this probably flows better than my manifold, just based on the way that it's like tubular, and it's not totally cast. Like, it's actually welded
Yeah.
with like, I don't know, it's like tubing instead of a cast thing. Maybe it's got larger area in here or a better flow to it. I'm not sure, but
Well,
I don't know.
Right.
But the turbo fits it, and the turbo is brand new. He drove it to the dyno and it blew up. So like, he has no miles on the turbo. Yeah. So I feel like we just got to make sure we flow some oil through it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty sweet. We got to see. I mean, I'll check
the shaft play. Yep.
I mean, it spins great.
You would know.
You got like a tiny amount of shaft play, but they all do. I don't think that's a big deal. Once the oil gets in there, look, he's got all the bolts here too.
Yeah, it's fine.
So
yeah,
I don't know, guys. Pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
Will be easy to just slap on, you know. So it's kind of cool. Kinds of stuff here.
So that crap.
Some innovative intercooler piping here. I don't know what this went to. Tiny stuff.
Might not know when you need it.
And then that's pretty much it. Got oh, we had the throttle body in here that he talked about. So this is pretty cool here. This is actually a Volker's. I think I'm not sure
Is that an oversized throttle body or?
Oh, bullfrog. My bad. Bullfrog. I can't read. Yeah, it's a bullfrog throttle body. I don't know.
It's oversized.
I think it's oversized, which
yeah, okay.
You know, that's pretty sick. So
yeah,
I would throw that on there. We'll see if that's
yeah, rock that crap.
Yeah.
Crap out of that.
Yeah, so pretty cool too. Next time I got the whole system apart, we can integrate the throttle body and
We got a couple more clamps in here and stuff.
yeah, a couple more clamps, but that's pretty much it for this
What's this
box
guy?
here. This looks like a fuel pressure regulator of some type. Or it could be another FMU. So I'm not sure on this, but probably an FMU or a fuel pressure regulator. But
It looks like it's got fittings for oil.
it's not oil. It's because it's vacuum related and it's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's not oil. See, I think you got in and out, and then another one here, and then you have a set screw here that you can mess with.
Something.
So I think it's probably a fuel pressure regulator. That's my bet.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll buy that. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for that box. So we'll get to another box and we'll show you guys what's up. All right, so we're getting in the second box here, and this is the one I'm interested in. I already peeked in here. We'll see. Hopefully it's in decent enough condition. I'll have to check it out thoroughly because it has been banged around a bit in its day, and it's full of packing peanuts. But we do have here an entire cylinder head, a VTEC cylinder head to be exact. So it'll be interesting. Just a single overhead cam, that's fine with me, but maybe we get VTEC. That can't hurt. So they really filled this whole thing full of packing peanuts, huh? Well, these valves kind of hanging open, a couple of these valves, so I'm gonna have to look into this cylinder head and see if it's still good. Because we get some valves that are open. I guess that's where the lobes of the cam are, because the cams are still bolted to it. So that's probably fine. I'm just being crazy. We got there's like dirt in the cam section. So this would have to be disassembled and cleaned. But I could always send it out to a machine shop and have them check it for flatness and probably deck it and everything. But he had this as a spare cylinder head. And so I thought it would be pretty cool to maybe try to make our Accord VTEC, you know? So can't hurt to try to do that. I think it'd be pretty sweet. I've still got the water outlet on there, so I can't really rest it down nicely. But yeah, I guess it's just like that. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. We got a VTEC cylinder head. So yeah, definitely a little bit old. It's been sitting, but I think he said it was off of a 30,000 mile vehicle. So I mean that's believable because it doesn't really look too bad, too worn. The surface will clean up a lot better than mine did. My cylinder head's pretty shot, and if I'm gonna put a different cylinder head on this motor, you know, then I would think you probably want to do a VTEC one. So if we send this thing out, have it cleaned, I don't know. Definitely needs a little bit of help. Definitely needs some love. It's been sitting, but I think it could be cleaned up, and we could use this thing and have VTEC. I'd have to go get a VTEC valve cover, and I'd probably have to tap a port in the block or something like that. Drill and tap, or I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. I'm sure there's a way to turn it into a VTEC motor, and we'll just have to see. And we could tune it in there, and we could have VTEC. So we'll just have to see. Maybe we could do a custom cam or something. You know, there's all sorts of options that we could do when we start to get into building motors and stuff. And I'd like to entertain that because I think this car's got more in it, even with a stock bottom end. But if I'm gonna pull a motor apart again, I'm probably gonna throw Ford stuff in it. So we'll see when this project goes down. I got a lot going on. I don't know if I mentioned it on the Accord content, but I did purchase a house with my fiance, so we're gonna be, you know, moving in there shortly. So things might come to a slight halt with the car stuff. I just gotta, you know, do some house stuff for a little while. But I'll always come back to this, and you know, hang in there, guys. I know you want Accord content. I'll try to keep it up with driving and doing some little things here and there. But as far as big projects like this, probably gonna be a little while. But I do have the parts now, and if I can start amassing parts, then we can tear it apart one winter and just knock it out. But it'll be nice to have my own space, and I don't have to worry about taking up the garage here and all these vehicles. We got some room for them over there, so now don't worry. I'm not getting rid of anything. That's all I want to say is I have room for all the stuff that I want over there, so it should be fun. Anyway, yeah. So I got one more box to open. I'll show you guys what's in there. And then we gotta find a spot to stash all this stuff until I move. But all good stuff, I think. I'm excited. Great to have the opportunity to, you know, work with some of these parts for not too much money. You know, just a couple $100 in shipping, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, we'll open the last box now, and I'll show you guys what's in there. So here's what was hiding in the last box there. Nice little intercooler. Will be good to use on a project one day. It's pretty thick, you know. It's like not too tall, but it is pretty thick. The inlet and outlet are a little small, but that's just kind of how the piping was on this setup. You know, you're not looking to make huge power here with a setup like this. It made 200 on the dyno, which, you know what, is a lot, because these motors made to the wheels maybe 100 stock. So to make 200 at the dyno is pretty awesome for this car. And I got the feeling I'm probably somewhere around there too. It would be nice to go to the dyno and see that for sure. But that's just, you know, I'll make my way over there at some point. So hopefully we can integrate some of these parts onto the car. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to show you guys for future reference. We got some stuff to work with, and maybe we'll rock a name brand turbo. Pretty sweet. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this unboxing and future plans for the Accord. And stick with me, and we'll definitely get back to the Accord pretty soon, but we may have a minor detour in the meantime. But plenty of good things to come. We're never done. No project's ever finished, alright? So, thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.